Okay, we're going to strip another board that I have to get repaired. So let's get going. Again, I take it to Beach House Surfboard Repair in Oceanside. That's Mike. He is my brother. And he likes the board to be stripped and finless when we take it in. Like the last video, or unlike the last video, I have a stomp pad on this board. I'm going to talk about stomp pads and my own thing with them. I used to have a stomp pad on everything, and then I stopped using them. If I bought a used board that had one, I kept it on, but then when it tears off, when it gets old, I just remove it. And that's because there was one day we were out in the water and we were doing that thing where you pull your board down in the water and launch it. And we were kind of having a contest to see whose board was the best launcher. And my board that I had at the time was the best launcher. And I was wondering why, because it wasn't necessarily as buoyant as the other boards, but it was launching like 4 or 5 feet out of the water. And I just thought it was cool that I had the highest launching board. Yeah, I'm just using Goo Gone to get the sticky stuff off and to help peel up this pad. And the only reason I'm removing it is because it's been peeling off. So anyways, back to the story. We were launching them and I was winning. And then I couldn't figure out why my board launched so much higher. And I have 2 of the same board pretty much. They're just 2 inches different in height. And one of them has a stomp pad and the other one doesn't. And so I was out with the one with the stomp pad and it wouldn't launch as high. And I finally put it all together that it was the stomp pad. The kicker on the stomp pad was causing drag when it would come up and it would barely launch out of the water. So I thought, if that's causing drag, I know this is silly because I'm not that good at a surfer, but if that's causing drag coming up like that launching, then it's also causing drag when the wave is coming over the rail and over that stomp pad. And I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna not use stomp pads anymore. And I've never really used them. I've never felt like the need for them to, as far as securing my foot back here or feeling. Some people like the feeling of it, knowing where their back foot is. I've never had that issue, so I just figured I'm not going to use stomp pads anymore. So I stopped using stomp pads, and I'm not anti, but I'm not going to go out and buy one and put it on my board because I don't think it really helps my performance. And what do I know? I'm a kind of a kook. I'm having you watch me strip boards in my backyard. This board I've had for a couple of years. My daughter's actually been riding it, but I've lost some weight and I'm going to get back on it. And I'm looking forward to that. It's kind of a copy of a Rocket Wide. And I only rode it a little bit a few years ago. Then COVID came and then I got fat and then I was too big for it. So my daughter was riding it. It's the board she learned to ride on. And she did good. She did quick. Having a wide board to start. I like wide boards in general. I think they plane faster, cruise faster down the line. down the line. Okay, that's all off. Let's put a little, let that soak while we scrape the wax. Gonna get this, we'll toss this in the trash can in a little bit. And here we go, gonna strip again. So that was a wax from where it stripped off. And again, it's just a 2.5 inch or 3 inch putty knife. Seems to do the best for me, as long as you're not gouging these corners. I've taken grinders before and taken those corners off, but man, it doesn't seem to matter. So I was mentioning going down the line. I was thinking about this the other day. I was laughing because actually I think about it every day. You know, when you paddle out and you're surfing and you're not getting as many waves as you want, and you look down the line and you're like, look, it's barreling down there. Look down that way. It looks so good. And then you like paddle over there and you make a trek and you get down there and you realize, oh crap, it's the same down here as it was up there. Like now I see waves where I was down the line and they look good because the angle just makes even a closing out wave look like it's breaking forever. So we do that all the time. I have friends that do it all the time. I do it all the time. Like, I'm going down the line. And so I always say now, watch out. You have DLS. That's down the line syndrome. So if you get a case of DLS, think hard before you paddle and actually watch the guys surfing down the line instead of just the shape of the wave down the line. Don't get down the line syndrome like I do, DLS. Earlier this spring, my son and I went out. He was visiting, and we paddled out just in front of the condos by the harbor in Oceanside. And there was some girls that came out with us, and man, they were good. They were fun to surf with. I don't even remember their names, but I think they were all in about their 30s, and they were really nice. We all sharing waves and cheering each other on. I'm the guy in the water that always goes woo every time someone gets a wave, whether I know him or not. So I'm a whoop boy. But we were surfing with these girls and they were looking down the line, and I told them, yo, you have DLS. And they asked, what's that? And I told them about down the line syndrome. And then the rest of the session, for like over an hour, they kept saying, oh man, I got LSD. It was funny. So watch out for the DLS. You'll paddle less because you won't need to. You'll be smarter than I am half the time. Again, Gugon on the giraffe print here. If it was hot outside, it'd come off a little better. This is plenty stripped for taking it to get repaired. If you leave these, I still, if I'm going to strip it, I'm going to strip it every time. And the fun thing is, if you saw the last 2 videos of surf stuff, one was stripping, the other one was doing the coloring and waxing. So I'm going to do another coloring one or drawing a picture on it with crayon if you want to watch that in the near future after I get this board back. So let's spray this wax and let it sit for a second. And then let's see if we can't scrape. some of this off. So do you guys have any things like DLS, you know, things that you say in the water that are for you and your crew that are funny, or that you came up with? I'd like to hear them, because I have heard people over the years, a few people that I don't know, say, oh yeah, I got down the line syndrome, or that was something we came up with as teenagers. Another one that I came up with that cracks me up is it was my signature move for years. I called it the Man from Snowy River. And if you haven't seen the movie, it won't make any sense to you, but if you've seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's a scene in the movie where they're chasing the wild brumby. All the men on the Australian ranch are chasing the wild horse that they want to catch and tame. And the hero of the show is a young kid, and they come up, all the wild horses run down this big old hill, and he comes up behind all of them, and they don't expect it. He runs down this steep hill, and it looks like a nightmare, but he makes it down, and it's like mad horse riding skills kind of thing. Well, he's down, and he's sideways, and he's going down that hill straight down, and I've done the same thing so many times, where you start paddling for a wave and then you try to sit up and back out, but you get caught over the falls, and you wrap your legs around it and you're going down. And I called that move the Man from Snowy River. It doesn't end up like him though. You usually crash, and well, you're not making it. That's why you're sitting up like that. But I remember about 8 or 9 years ago, I did a Man from Snowy River. I started getting sucked over the falls, and I sat up and wrapped my legs around my board to kind of hold everything there. And I started really loud. I went, bum, 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 ba, da, 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 which is the theme song. And the guy paddling out, a little older than I am, I'm 52 now. He, when I paddled back out, he was looking at me, he's laughing, and he says, were you singing the theme song from Man from Snowy River? I said, yeah, that's what I call that move. And he's like, that's exactly what you looked like. You were just going downhill, and you even had one hand up and the other hand on the rail going down that wave. So that's the Man from Snowy River. Just funny things. So if you got anything, I'd like to see it in comments. Any funny stuff you guys do. So you can see I have my my during the session ding repair, which is put a vinyl sticker on it. That sticker is my Happy Cans sticker. That's what I do for a living. I clean trash cans. I am the proud owner of Happy Cans, California. We come and clean cans in front of your house and in most of North County, from Cardiff to Oceanside and San Marcos, and still haven't branched out into Fallbrook yet or on base, but we'll be going there soon. Anyways, that's not why I'm here. I'm here to strip boards, not sell Happy Cans. But if you ever see my blue Chevy S10, I'll show you a picture of it someday. It's an old 2000 Chevy S10. It's got a couple ammo boxes in the back. I think I said this in another video. In the ammo box towards the tailgate, there's always a spare leash, some spare leash string, and inside the box there's some Happy Can stickers. So if you get a ding or leash breaks or something and you see my truck parked near where you're surfing, feel free to reach in there and grab something. I know that if it gets stolen, it's not really stolen, it's being used, and it's a karma thing. You know, I've had lots of guys give me wax. There's wax in there too. Wax combs, things like that. So, you know, if you need something, extra fins are in there. They're all futures. They're there for you. Just because I'm a what goes around comes around guy. Hopefully you had fun hanging out with me while I stripped this board. Got a couple stories. What's funny is when I'm doing this, I'm a lot more calm than I normally am when I talk. My 12-year-old son was laughing because he's like, "Dad, you sound just like Bob Ross." Like, okay, whatever. All right. That's the work. Thanks for hanging out with me.